Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, YouTube. This is Jared Stephen Ramsey Lewis, and this is the Bo Show. If you didn't know, now you know so. This is where you come and this is where you go if you want to see how they do it in the world. See how we stay out of trouble, country boys and country girls. Grab a gun and have some fun. Stay out of trouble. It is about 40 degrees. I done pulled out my hunting gear just to stay warm at the end of March. And that's something. I'm gonna find somewhere where I can set this thing up and we're gonna talk. We're gonna have a little talk session. I got something on my mind. I need to get it up off my chest. All right. I'm back. You see the brand? I think I stepped in some dog doo-doo. All right. So I had a good little talk with the Lord this morning, and I was trying to figure out what I was gonna tell y'all today, what I was gonna talk about on this nice cold morning in North Carolina. Zoe got an appointment today, so I'm gonna drive her to the appointment, make sure everything is all right. Take care of the ones that love you, and take care of the ones that got your back. I'm gonna say that. So anyway, back to the story. Well, back to what I was talking about. Had a good little talk with God and said what I need to talk about this morning. And he just told me to tell my story. So I'm gonna tell y'all my story. A brief, hopefully not too brief, of who I am. Jared Stephen Ramsey Lewis. Also known as Bo, Bear, Nephew, Uncle Bo. I got a couple nicknames. Anyway, we're gonna start where I'm from. I'm from Durham, North Carolina. I grew up right down the street from Central. Went to R. Harris as an elementary school student. I excelled pretty well. Technology was kind of my bug. I used to go to my granddaddy's house every weekend almost. My granddaddy Bo Lightning, James Thomas Lewis, he raised me for the most part as far as getting me dirty and raising hogs, chickens, dogs, and everything else. So middle school, I ended up going to Githens Middle School in Durham. Was a very mixed school, did a bunch of wrestling and football. That's where I actually learned my love for wrestling. High school, I ended up going to Hillside New Tech, which was a technical school, and played football for Hillside, where we would go on to win the state championship, I think in 2011 as a football team. And I believe I went to regionals and got knocked out my senior year on a concussion in the regionals wrestling conference. However it goes, I was doing a whole lot of hunting, fishing, and outdoor stuff. I lost my granddaddy when I was young in elementary school or middle school. I want to say I lost my granddaddy, and that kind of took a whole lot out of me because that was my introduction. My dad, he had me riding horses a lot, and I think he had a knee replacement, so he kind of was on and off of the horse, not as much. So, but my granddaddy had me doing a whole lot of hunting and fishing along with my Uncle Steve. So high school is when it got a little shaky for me because my mom, it was just me and her in the house, and I watched her work 12-hour shifts. I think, allergies. I watched her work 12-hour shifts, 6 days a week for a long time. And I think it was my senior year of high school, she lost her job. She was laid off. It was some crazy stuff that went down at the job, and she ended up losing her job. So all my life I saw her work this real hard job, and then she just kind of got kicked to the curb based off some he say, she say type of stuff. And I always knew I was going to college. I knew I was going to A&T. Back when I was little, I used to say I'm going to AT&T University. I didn't know no better. So I already knew in my mind that I was going to college. because like I said, I excelled in school. It was really easy to me. I didn't never really have to apply myself too much because I was gifted, I would say. I could just try a little bit and I just got it. I got it. Even I think elementary school, I'm sorry if I'm jumping all over the place. Elementary school, I got sent, I was a student ambassador. I got sent to Australia. My dad helped send me to Australia. My dad and my mom, as a student ambassador program, I think it was People to People, where they chose the high excellence students in the district to go learn and study abroad. I went to Australia. That was a dope experience. I want to tell anybody, any opportunity that you get to send a child or go out and explore the world as a human being, explore it. There's so much out here for us to see. So anyway, back to the story. My mama lost a job, and that's when it kind of hit the fan for me. I kind of started smoking a whole lot. I wasn't drinking as much, but with me smoking, I ended up venturing into selling weed because that was just something that I saw a lot growing up. Friends and family, cousins and whatnot. I saw my granddaddy, he used to sell moonshine a lot. And it was just something that I thought that I was the prince of. Like I was the prince of selling. And it was easy to me, it was cool to me. So I started selling weed around my senior year of high school. So I was graduating, going into college, didn't really know a whole lot of people. Long story short, I didn't really get a chance to focus on college at first because I got distracted with the weed. And I was focused on becoming the best there was of selling, because I didn't really want to ask anybody for money. My pride was a little too big. I hated asking for handouts. I had a support system. I had people that were sending me a whole lot of gifts and money, but I just hated that I couldn't provide for myself, I guess I would say. So I would go to class. I didn't know a whole lot about academic suspension and dismissal and probation, dropping classes, GPAs. One second. Okay, so I didn't know even though I graduated high school with a 3.8 GPA, I didn't know a whole lot about GPAs because that wasn't something I focused a whole lot of my high school time. I played a bunch of football and wrestling, and I did track and field as well in high school. So I was kind of between hunting, fishing, and sports. It was easy being a student athlete, I would say. So I didn't have to worry about the classes and everything else involved. Oh, here come another vehicle. So I apologize about all of these vehicles that's coming. It seems to be a busy morning. Where was I at? Get it together, bro. Student athlete, college, dropping classes. So when I got to college, I signed up for a whole bunch of hard classes, not really knowing. I overwhelmed myself and got some bad grades early in the game, messed my GPA up, and I ended up getting on academic probation because I wasn't really focused on school a whole lot more, say. So we're gonna get to the nitty gritty. About junior year, sophomore year, I had been off and on academic probation, had been looking at academic suspension, but not quite. I had fought, was just doing enough to hang on by the skin of my teeth. And if you ever been to A&T, which is my college, my alma mater, it's a whole lot of distractions there. I mean, from the parties, the just having a good time, the clubs, not clubs for say, there's the club hopping downtown, but there was a lot of different clubs and stuff you can get involved with in and around campus that it would be a distraction. So anyway it goes, I got good at what I was doing as far as hustling, and I rose to the top really quickly to the point where a lot of people knew that I was selling weed around campus. And I ended up going to California my spring break year of college, and I came back feeling like I was the man with the plan. I was the man on campus, in other words. I felt like I was the man on campus, and it wasn't. I turned 21 in February on February 3rd, I think it was 2015. I want to say about roughly 2015, somewhere in there. I turned 21, spring break, came back, April. Here we are. I just left the wildlife cookout out at Mr. Peter Pettifor's house. I was supposed to go back to the wildlife cookout that next night. Like I said, I'm already big in the game. I was selling weight, as they would say. I didn't really have to penny push, nickel and dime no more, so I wasn't pressed about it. I was supposed to be at the cookout the next day on that Sunday, so we do a cleanup. There was a party going on at my house. Roommates and all was involved. They had a little small block party, and it was like, Bo, stick around, stay in town. So I did, and I had this, like, somebody had called me. I didn't really know what the number was or whatever. Didn't pay it no mind. Long story short, we'll just get to the block party. We're at the block party, a whole lot of in and out, everybody, different crowds, different faces. You just smiling, waving, drinking, smoking, playing cards, video games, betting, just having a good time. As a college student, it was like a real big kickback, essentially. The guys got in the club, they got in the party. Look, here come a car, here come a bus, school bus, DDD. Okay. So the guys, I was in there. I want to say I was making a play, which if you don't know what a play is, it's selling weed. I was selling weed and I looked to my left. Like, I already had a weird feeling because I had told my homeboy, I told Nard, I was like, if anything ever happened, my shotgun over there in the corner, just be on the lookout, because I just got a weird feeling. Like, I had this vibe, like this bad energy. I don't know what it was. It was good Lord, essentially. I looked up, I made a play, I seen the guy, he was like, hey man, I need some weed. He's in my house at this point, like right here, face to face, like, hey man, I need some weed. You got some weed? I'm like, yeah. Then I show him the weed, and then I'm like, I show him the weed, and next thing I know, I feel like it's a movie, because I remember seeing a second guy with a hood on, sitting over in the corner. I'm like, I don't know that guy, why he got a hood on in the party. Then the guy that I was dealing with, had a hood on. So I'm like, yeah, I got the weed, here go the weed, where the money? He started fidgeting around in his pockets. So this is my second time getting robbed. The first time, the guy did the same thing, fidgeting around in his pocket with a packed money, and I knew that was a sign that they about to pull that strap out on you. They about to pull that hammer out on you. So I'm sitting there thinking like, dang, this is just like a movie. And I turn around, boom, guns pointed straight to my face. He like, give it up. Like, give it up, everybody get down. The guy that was sitting over in the corner, he pulls a pistol out. They lay everybody down in the house. It might be 15 people in the house, roughly, scattered out between different rooms and stuff. It was a 3-bedroom apartment. It was people in and out. They was outside cooking on the grill. So people outside didn't know what was going on. The people inside was being robbed. So that's when he took the weed from me, started running my pockets, took the money from me. I had probably about $700 in my pocket. Then I think I had roughly about 1,000 or 2 in my room under the pillow or somebody. I had money scattered out everywhere. So he was like, where the money at? Where the money at? Where the weed at? Where the rest of the weed at? And I was like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't stay here. You know, I try to play dumb. That didn't work. He took the pistol with me upside my head. So me being a little drunk and intoxicated and high, I saw red immediately. I was like, well, what'd you do that for? Why you hit me upside my head with the pistol, dude? I just told you I don't need to stay here, but they had already scoped out the place. I already knew who I was, quote unquote. They were looking for a bigger bow. I was the little bow around town. They were looking for big bow. Which I later found that part out, but either way it go, the pistol with me, and then he was like, get down on the ground, and he proceeded to go check my room, which at the time my ex was in the room doing something on the phone, just being antisocial, and it was just like I was sitting there plotting like, man, my shotgun's in the room, my daddy gave me a shotgun that's in the room. They found the shotgun that I had in the corner, which actually was my dad's shotgun. And the guy picked it up. He had it cradled in his arm, and he had a pistol like that. He wasn't holding the shotgun like he knew, like the shotgun was going the long way. And he had it cradled in his arm. And I was just laying there plotting like, man, my shotgun in my room. He holding the shotgun like he don't know what he doing. If I could just get my hands on one of them shotguns, I'm going to make that boy pay for hitting me upside my head with that pistol. So dang on, right at that moment, the second gunman was like, hey, you, get over here. The one that was holding the gun off front, he was like, you get over here. You come by me, you like you up something, you thinking too hard, you need to come over here, you need to come over here. So I go get up beside him, and right as that time I hear my ex voice just holler out and say something. And like I knew I had all the weed, money, guns in the room. I'm like, oh, it was like a trigger. So I get down on my knees, and like as soon as I hit my knees, I barely hit one knee. I jumped up, punched the dude. I punched him, and we started fighting over the gun. I got my hand on the gun and was like fighting over the shotgun, and we were going all over the place. And he was just like, I had to stand up, and he was just like, just kind of like how it was. We were fighting. He was like, bro. And that's when the second gunman came out the room from behind me this way. Like I said, I'm fighting like that. And he shot me in the back. He shot me in the spine. Good gracious God Almighty. I can't tell y'all the story, but I'm showing you my scars. Shot me in the spine. I got cut right there. I don't know if you can see it. That's where the bullet came out up in here somewhere. And it went in like right there. That's where the bullet went in. And it came out somewhere up in here. And they cut me. They removed a whole bunch of my intestines. And there was a bunch of ruptures and bleeding and all that stuff. Anyway, I skipped a little far ahead. So anyway, the second guy, the original one that pistol with me, shot me in the back. And it was just like, everybody scattered like roaches, like, I hit the ground because I was in the middle of the fight. And the robbers took off. They took off running. My best friend ended up chasing them, but he checked on me, made sure I was all right, and he took off running after them. They had dropped the shotgun outside the door, so he chased them with that. But they had emptied the shells or something out of it, and they screwed it off. So they had a getaway car and all this stuff. Like I said, they had this planned out. Like they had this scoped out. So dang on, I get up, and they like, Bo, yo, what happened, Bo? Yo, it's like people coming from upstairs, they scatter. I mean, they coming from downstairs, they scattering around and stuff. It's people inside, they're like, Bo, what happened? My cousin, Colin, he was just like, man, I was about to jump off the third floor balcony. I was so scared. It was like crazy. Everybody was scared, man. I'm talking about we all college students between the ages of 18 and like maybe 20-some years old, 22 at the oldest. Might have been one or two old heads in the group that came through, So they're like, Bo, what happened? Did you get shot? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I didn't even know that I had got shot. I vaguely remembered anything about a gun. I just remember going to that boy, like, I just remember the fight. I'm just thinking, like, they gone. I won the fight, like, everything good. So they like, did you get shot? I'm like, I don't know, I'm good. And I turn around, they're like, oh, you got shot. And I was like, I got shot? Where? So they was like, we gotta get you to the hospital, So the robbers had took everybody's phone that was inside the apartment. They took everybody, they was taking phones, game system, running people for their pockets. I mean, when I say running their pocket, they were taking the money out their pockets, taking anything they had. They took one guy book bag, because he had like a designer book bag or something. They was taking everything they could get their hands on. So nobody in the apartment complex had a phone to call 911, but somebody heard the shots fired. And I think they reported it. So either way, it was like, we got to rush Bo to the hospital. So my ex at the time, we get in the car, and they're like, take Bo to the hospital. And we driving, and it's like cop cars. Woo! Coming by, coming right past us. And I'm like, well, no, I'm just sitting back like this, just chilling. So just doze off, high as a kite. It felt like somebody took a sludge hammer to my back. I'm talking about like, they just took a jackhammer and just hit me in the back. It's hot, but I don't feel it. I learned then that there's two types of pain in this world. It's either it's gonna hurt bad and you're gonna feel it, or it's gonna hurt so bad that your brain is gonna block it out and it's gonna take care of the rest. You ain't gonna really be able to feel it like talking about. So this was hurt so bad that I ain't even really feel it. I'm just sitting there chilling. Here come a car. She asked me, she's like, do you know how to get to the hospital from here? Because she's from California. I'm like, what? You don't know how to get to the hospital? No, I don't know how to get to the hospital. What you mean, do I know how to get to the hospital? You taking me to the hospital, and you don't even know how to get to the hospital. Who volunteered you for this? So I'm going off, because, like, this point, I'm like, I'm about to die. Like, we don't even know how to get to the hospital, and I'm sitting here shot. Let me let the car go by. I was like, I'm sitting here shot. I said, I'm going to die because she don't know how to get to the hospital. So it was like a quick reaction. I was like, damn, there go the police right there. I jumped up, hit the wheel, and she swerved over in front of the police, and she slammed on the brakes. She's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then at that point, the cop hopped out the car and was like, freeze, what are you doing? Why are you swerving in front of me like that? I got an emergency. What are you doing? And then I, like, kind of eased out. I don't know if I eased out. So either way it go, I told him, I'm like, I'm the one that got shot. I'm the one, like, I didn't jump out the car. I remember that. I waved my hand at someone, was like, hey, I need to go to the hospital, get me to the hospital, escort me. And she's like, the policeman like, no, I can't escort you to the hospital. I'm a certified EMT. We don't know where the bullet might have exited. It could still be in you. Blah, 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 blah. We don't want to jeopardize the integrity of your spine. We got to leave you right here until the EMS squad car gets here, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, woman just ain't going to show us how to get to the hospital. So she made me lay there. And I just sitting there like, I'm about to die. They doing too much. Like, we done swerved in front of the police and all that good stuff. And now the police telling me that she can't take us to the hospital because we didn't know how to get to the hospital, because that's the only reason we swerved in front of the police in the first place. The ambulance. Okay, I got my coffee. Look at that. I quit drinking coffee about 2 weeks ago. A week ago, last week. And now here I am drinking coffee because I knew I was going to tell y'all something, so I got real antsy and nervous this morning. I had to start drinking coffee again, but just for the day. I had to kind of calm my nerves. Sometimes you get that voice in your head to try to talk you out of doing great things. Don't let it do it. Back to the story, the ambulance. The ambulance. So the ambulance get there, the EMTs, and they're like, we gotta lay you out on the curb because if you got shot in the back or anywhere in the torso, it could have fractured your spine or anything like that. We don't want you to, jeopardize the integrity of your structure, your spinal structure. So they laid me out on the side of the sidewalk like that, on the little stretcher. They pulled me out of the car. I laid out like that, doing the plank. So dang on, they put me in the back of the ambulance, and I remember they put the stretcher on my neck. And like, it got hot. Like, I got hot in the back of the ambulance. I'm like, hey, yo, ambulance lady, y'all ain't got no AC in here? Like, can you cut the AC up a little bit? She's like, it's okay, we about 5 minutes. Y'all little puppies, what y'all doing now? It's like 5 minutes from the hospital. You like 5 minutes from the hospital? I'm like, is that 5 minutes, or 5 minutes, 20 minutes to, like, keep me from tripping out? She like, 5 minutes. I'm like, okay. So I got this stretcher on my neck, and I'm just like, I'll get a hairball. Like, I got to spit. So I'm like, ma'am, here come a car. So I'm like, ma'am, I got to spit. Can you like take this off of me so I can spit? She like, no, I can't take it off for you because your spine and da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, bro. Okay, so at this point, I done like Houdini myself out of the stretcher. They got me on the little plank stretcher thing. I done Houdini myself out of the stretcher, and I'm over here like, when she turned around, she's like, oh my goodness, lay back down. So they done strapped me down a little bit more. And so at this point, I done wiggled out, and they done laid me down, and then low-key was really 5 minutes to the hospital. So in the midst of me keep getting out, trying to spit, I had did something. I was trying to spit. I got it out. I knew I was gonna die then. I said, dang. Well, here come a car. So I knew I was about to die then, because I said, I'm about to die because I'm going to choke on this spit. I remember saying, I said, I ain't going to die because of this spit. Which sounds stupid. I ain't going to die because of this spit. But then I was spitting all over the ambulance trying not to die from that spit. So we get to the hospital, and the lady is like, I want to say the squad car lady that we swerved in front of, she's there already, and she opened up the door like, we need help, we gotta get help. And everybody's just like, excuse me. They just sitting there like looking all crazy. So she's like, I'll do it myself, move out of the way. So she pulled, this lady was an angel. I need to find out who she is to this day. I don't know who she is. She pulled out everything, pulled me off the stretcher, dang on, did it by herself, start pushing me in the dang on, move, I got an emergency. Like push me in, I'm just laid back on the stretcher. Like I gotta spit. So dang on, we get inside the room, and I remember I must have dozed off for like a quick second, because it was like, you know how you see the lights in the movies, like you passing the ceiling lights of the hospital, like that's all you see, you looking up like, I get in the hospital room, I'm like, bruh, take this off of me so I can spit. And they was like, man, we can't have you spitting in here. You're going to give somebody HIV and AIDS and donuts. I was like, and I spit on the ceiling. And next thing I know, I was like, uh-oh. And I threw up. It was like a whole bunch of nurses and stuff in there. Like, they was writing stuff down on pads like it was student day at the hospital. Like, everybody just sitting there looking at me while I'm saying I got to spit. So dang on, long story short, I spit, then I threw up, and it was like a whole bunch of red substances. I don't know to this day if it was blood or if it was the moonshine and the food. It was one of the two, because I was off a THC pill as well. That's like pure THC, like one of the highest forms of THC you can get, smoking and drinking moonshine. And I want to say it was a watermelon or some apple. It was some type of, anyway, it was a red substance that came out of me, and I was just like, ugh. I passed out. So then I woke up in the hospital like 2 days later. All I remember, everybody, this basically people kept telling me, yeah, we was coming to see you and all that stuff. I know they gave me a button, a morphine button, and they was just like, hit this button whenever you want the drugs to administer to your body, and it'll take away the pain. All I remember was that I put that button under my leg, and it was just like, every time the button would hit the refill alarm, it was like, beep, 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 psst. So after I put that button up under my leg, that joke was just like, beep. So every time I came up, I would lay back in the bed, open up my eyes. I'd just be opening up my eyes. I see people in the room and stuff. Then they was like, already the daggone thing was up under my leg. It was like, beep. I wake up about 4 hours later. Beep. So I was dozed for like 2 days. I'm talking about high as a kite, boy. That stuff in the hospital ain't no joke. Anyway, they moved me to another room. A whole lot of people came to see me. They couldn't see me. They couldn't see me because it was like they didn't know that the people was coming back to finish off the job. It was confidential. You had to have a password to get inside the back room, to get inside the weight room, to get back there to see me. And they changed the password like every day or something. It was like every so many hours they would change the password to keep it confidential. People came and saw me. Long story short, I had a crazy recovery time. Like in the hospital, that was like the craziest. I don't even like being in hospitals no more. That's half the reason why I do what I do so hard, because I really don't like going to hospitals. I don't never want to be laid down like that again. I don't never want to be somewhere where I can't go and get outdoors. Like that used to be my thing. I would get missing from the hospital because I go outside for a walk. Like I just take, when I finally, okay, so I'm going too far ahead of myself. I get in the hospital, I'm recovering. And they cut me open. And I was like, Doc, I ain't never had a six-pack in my life. Give me a straight line so I can have a six-pack. Okay? So that's why I got a six-pack now. If you didn't know, now you know. Because I asked for this. I done made it back. I feel like I deserve to come back with a six-pack. So, dang on, I'm in there, I'm recovering. I had to get up. I had to learn how to fart. I had to learn how to burp. I had to learn how to walk again. because it was just like, it was so much. You don't realize how important these abdominal muscles go into like you walking, moving, and grooving every day. So I had to learn how to poop, fart, doo-doo again, all that good stuff. I was walking around the hospital. I remember now I had my butt hanging all out. They're like, Bo, you need to cover that up. And I flipped over the other flap over. I said, y'all ain't gonna mess with this walking. Like, it was just something about me that I knew I had died and went to the other side, and it was just this fight that I had. That I just had to get back to where I was. So I fought, I recovered. I was in and out the hospital for like 2 or 3 months, I want to say. It was crazy stuff. I had nightmares in the hospital, off the drugs, the Percocets and Vicodin. That's why I don't understand why they even advertise that stuff on the radio, popping Perkies and stuff like that. Man, I tripped out of my mind, had some of the worst experience on them drugs alone, psychologically, that I could have ever had. So yeah, that's another story. Let's see, I recovered. Couldn't pick up 50 pounds or more. I'll wake up, rip my IV out in the middle of the night, having panic attacks. I had the big old IV machine that had like 12 different monitors on it. They called it a Christmas tree. There was so many lights and stuff like that. People down the hallway trying to kill themselves because they didn't want to be there. It was just like a psych ward. It was miserable in that hospital. I just wanted to do everything I could to get out of there. So I got shot right during finals. And me being me, the guy that barely I was coming to class like I was an animal science major, so I would go to my major classes, but it was hard for me to go to other classes. Got to see how they would benefit me in the long run. So when I got shot, a lot of teachers saw the email that said Jared Lewis got shot, but they knew me as Bo. So they didn't know that Bo had got shot, and they thought Bo done dropped out of school because he was barely coming to class anyway. So I'm laid up in the hospital, and Dr. Noble came to see me. And I was just like in tears when he came to see me. That was the chairman of the ag department, animal science building at A&T. He came to see me, and he was just like, we gonna get you back in school. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that. We're gonna get you back in school. He talked real fast and get excited. We're gonna get you back in school. So essentially, it looked like on paper that I had dropped out of school completely because it was right before finals. There was a semester of my junior year, I want to say. And I was already on the edge of academic suspension. So this was like academic dismissal in a sense. Like they was trying to kick me out because it didn't really look like, like I wasn't doing so good in school anyway because I wasn't focused on school. So when I got shot and they didn't know exactly the correlation between the two, it was like, oh, drop out. So I had to fight to get back. It was when they told me that you can't come back to school, a light went off. I mean, a trigger went off. I ain't never cared about school that much in my life. I'm like, you ain't gonna tell me that I just got shot and I'm sitting here fighting for my life that I can't even come back to school. I ain't even want to be in school, but now I do. So dang on, I fought. I got back in school. I recovered at my dad's house. Thank you, Father, for that. My daddy looked out for me with that one right there, allowing me to really be at peace. I was able to walk around in the backwoods that I grew up in and recover mentally, physically, and spiritually in a way that I needed to heal. I was at his house for a while, and then I started doing summer school. He helped me go to summer school. He would give me gas money and stuff to go back and forth to summer school. I had to redo my classes from that semester. That's what it was. When I got shot, all those classes that I had taken, I had to retake again before I could get back in school. So I had to retake those classes, finish them because they was all incomplete. I had to finish them, get a grade, write papers, do assignments. I remember I bust my tail writing all them assignments and papers and projects and stuff, just trying to get back in school. And I got back that fall semester, and I thrived, man. I kicked and I pushed, and I remember what my mama told me. She was like, when you hit the ground running. Don't get out there and start walking. That was always my thing in school. I'd drag tail because it was easy. Like I didn't have to apply myself. If it didn't hold my attention, if it wasn't science or some interesting technology or hunting, fishing, it couldn't hold my attention. I would just B plus, A plus, B plus. I would do it easily, so it didn't hold my attention. So after I came back, I was going hard. I mean, I never even realized how easy school was. Like when I really started applying myself and had that hunger, that dog came up out of me, I knew that I could do this and wasn't nobody gonna take this from me. Cause that's what happened when I got shot. I was at the top. I was almost like a baby kingpin, And I'm talking about I had clientele, like my name rang bells in the house. I could sell salt to a snail, water to a well. I would sell anything. If you smoke marijuana in the Greensboro following surrounding areas at that time frame, you roughly heard of Bo, or you was smoking some of my products. So either way it go, I was up there and I had got knocked down to the ground. So essentially what happened, I'm gonna explain what happened. I was up here wasting my gifts, wasting my talents, wasting my life, wasting my freedom. And God said, no, sir, sit down. No, sir, have a seat. That's what God said. God said, have a seat. You will not embarrass me like that. So God set me down. I'm back in school. I'm fighting. I graduate. I heal up. I graduate from school. Greatest day. One of the greatest days of my life. I didn't even think I was going to graduate. My godmama, she died 2 weeks after my high school graduation. So I was kind of scared of graduation in a sense because I always felt like something was going to happen bad after I graduated. Because 2 weeks after I graduated high school, my godmama passed away. And I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about that later on. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, I graduated high school. I walked across the stage. Graduated college, A&T. I had my antlers, my deer antlers on top of my hat. I need to find my cap from my cap and gown set. But I had deer antlers hanging up on the top of my hat, and I walked across the stage like a big old white-tailed buck. And my thing was, the big buck don't get to be big being dumb. So I had them antlers on my head, and I strutted across that stage, and everybody just wanted to know who was that boy with them antlers on his head. Either way it goes, it was a proud moment in my life. I broke curses. No man in my family had went on and graduated from college. I'm the first in both sides of my family to get a 4-year degree as a male. So that already right there was, boom, like, kudos. You breaking like generational curses that didn't exist. Your granddaddy dropped out of school in, I think, 5th, 6th grade or something like that. So you breaking generational curses. So I was happy with that. And dang on, I moved on, graduated. I actually worked at the school for 2 years doing the research, milking cows at the dairy farm. I done talked so much, my coffee done got cold. I was out there milking cows doing research. I got so many stories to tell y'all, man. I can go on and on and on, but I ain't gonna get off track from the main story. The main story is how I was trapping. And God set me down because I was wasting my talents. And I told this story a long time ago. I done told this story several times. People that know me dearly, they know my story. They know what happened and what didn't happen. They know my story. But the world, it's y'all time for me to tell my story because I want to motivate and inspire somebody, anybody out there to not do what I did, not sell drugs, not pay attention in school, not waste their time in school because time is money. If you're not going to go to school and perfect your gift and perfect your craft, don't go to school. Don't waste your time because there's multi-millionaires out here that don't have a high school degree. They don't have a college degree. They understood that they had the work ethic and the faith to take them further in life. So anyway, if I could just motivate one of y'all, just one of y'all, to not get trapped into what that's why they call it trapping, because it's a trap. It's a systematic trap to trick you out of your blessings, to block your blessings, to stop your shine, because you're putting a target on your back once you become a felon. And you're playing with your freedom once you get there. There's a whole nother story. Just don't do it. Stay out of trouble, man. Do whatever it takes to stay out of trouble. That's why we go so hard here at the Bo Show, because I want to motivate y'all, inspire anybody, a kid, a child, a man, a woman, a grown-up. Don't be selling this stuff, man. Don't fall into that trap, because you'll be surprised what type of impression you're making on the ones to come. Like I said, I thought that was the right way. I thought that it was okay to, hey, you got to do what you got to do. Like, I thought that was the right way because that's what I saw. Now knowing that ain't what God intended for me or you. Like, honestly, like, you got a gift. If your gift is selling, go sell cars, go sell watermelons. I sell anything nowadays just so I don't have to go back to the streets, because it ain't no love in the streets. I'll tell you a quick story about my cousin Chris. He was a super duper awesome athlete, man. I'm talking about clutch, college play, ECU. I once was gonna play overseas ball. If he didn't, he was just clutch guy, passing the ball, game-winning shot, 3-point buckets. Chris Turner, CT. A lot of people from Durham know about him. The streets came back and got him, man, right when he was turning his life around and really changing his life for the better. His past came back and got him, and he got shot a year and a day after I got shot from some guys that he had history with that followed him home and shot him in the yard, killed him dead. And the story goes is that you don't want your past to come back and hunt you. So stop now. You don't want them breaking and enterings. You don't want to kick those and doing people wrong and putting that bad karma out there. You don't want that to come back. Because I would give it all up to have my cousin back. I would give it all up to have a lot of my friends and loved ones back that have been taken by the game. Whether they locked up, in the cell, locked up or in the grave, or just not psychologically here with us anymore. Whether, I think I'm getting a little off track, kind of sidetracked a little bit. Lord Heavenly Father, keep me on track. I pray that you do that. Stay focused, y'all. Stay out of trouble. Grab a gun, have some fun. That's my story. I was supposed to tell this story a long time ago. I'm sorry that I kept it to myself for so long. I'm sorry that I deprived y'all from that. I've been supposed to told you my story so you know that it ain't worth it. Like, it ain't worth selling the weed. If you're gonna smoke the weed or have whatever drug or whatever your choice, support your own habit by going to work, working hard or whatever. I suggest you don't do drugs at all, but don't be selling drugs to do drugs, because then you become the fiend. You become the addict and not the dealer. A lot of people be selling the drugs, thinking that they are the dealer. They think they're selling to the fiend, but really they are the ones that's addicted to the fast money and that lifestyle. And then therefore you create a lifestyle that you financially can't afford. So when you take away the fast money and the system, you're broken down to debt and a lifestyle, like I said, that you can't afford. So live within your means. Live off of 30% of your income. If you're going to work, go to work. Work hard. Know that you have a dream. Every one of y'all have a goal. You have a dream. You have a mission that God put you on this earth to complete. You have something in you. You have a gift that's going to help somebody else in you right now. So if you're going to work, go to work and grind and take some of that money and invest in yourself so you can perfect that craft, so you don't have to work for nobody else for the rest of your life, because that creates generational wealth that gives your kids a chance to not have to hustle and bustle and work as hard as you do right now. So you have to go ahead and instill those sacrifices, or make them sacrifices. Say, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to work hard right now, but next year this time, I'm going to be able to quit my job because I have my LLC, or I have my business, or I have 5 or 6, 7 different streams of income coming in, so that I don't have to be dependent on the system of the paycheck to paycheck, because that right there could be stressful in itself. We're going through a time right now where it's COVID, it's a pandemic, the cases are going up, they're going through the roof, so I know that's going to cause a whole lot more stress in your life. All I'm going to tell you to end this video is to love yourself, love your life, love the ones who love you, stay out of trouble, and stay out of trouble. Like, legit. There's too much out here for you to do. We're too legit to quit. So we're going to keep coming to you, bringing this footage. I hope y'all enjoy my story. Grab a gun, have some fun. Don't take nobody's son. Grab the kids, grab the youth. Teach them how to go fishing. Where they say you give a man a fish, he can eat for a day. You teach a man to fish, he can eat for a lifetime. Keep that thought in your mind when you're teaching that child, or when you're telling that child, no, I'm not going to take you fishing, or no, I'm not going to take you hunting, or no, you're not old enough. Now is the time to teach these kids and friends and family these skills that we know as outdoorsmen. Because we don't want another pandemic to come where we have the meat going off the shelves and we have people that can't eat. We have vegetables going off the shelves and people can't eat. They're deprived of the nutritions and stuff that they need to think and live and breathe on a daily basis. So I need y'all to plant some crops. We're going to touch on all of that. Everybody go plant a tomato plant, cucumber plant, squash plant, something in your backyard this year, because we want to help prevent another pandemic. We want to be able to provide for each other. We want to be able to live without the system. I don't even want to get started on none of that. That's a bunch of videos. I mean, a bunch of videos. I'm going to just try to get this video to y'all because it's already too long. Stay tuned. Subscribe. Hit the Bo Show. Good morning, America. I love y'all. We love y'all. Zoe's asleep right now. I just had to take advantage of this day off. I hope I got like many more days off so I could tell stories and motivate y'all to be better today. Have a great day. Love your family, friends. Ask somebody how they doing. Smile. Bring that wonderful, beautiful energy to the table. Don't let nobody block your shine. Don't nobody put a cap on your shine. Don't let nobody do that. You shine bright like a diamond because that's the life that the Lord intended for you to have. We're too stressed to be blessed. I'm going to keep on talking if I don't hit the stop button. So I'm going to hit this stop button. Make sure you do what? Make sure you do what? Stay out of trouble. That's that new corduroy hat. Hopefully we can get some more of that coming. Thank you for everybody that purchased merchandise. Hopefully we can get all the orders fulfilled and we can keep this product coming. We've been doing a lot of giveaways to the youth, trying to just motivate somebody to stay out of trouble, man. Stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button, like button, comment, share. Tell somebody somewhere they might need to watch a video, something like this on the Bo Show so they can know. So, oh!